In July 2025, the quiet farmlands of Bavaria, Germany became the center of a mystery that has left experts stunned. Overnight, in a wheat field stretching as far as the eye could see, a massive formation appeared. Covering over 5,000 square meters, the design wasn't just random shapes in the crop. It was breathtaking in its precision and beauty. At the heart of the formation lay a star-like center, its points sharp and balanced, as though drawn with invisible rulers. Around it, braided loops spread outward like ripples frozen in time, and encircling everything was a bold border. The border carried a design that seemed strangely familiar, a repeating Greek key pattern, the kind often seen carved in ancient temples and mosaics. To the farmer, it was a shocking discovery at sunrise, but to researchers, it was something far greater. This wasn't just another crop circle. Its scale, symmetry, and complex detail made it stand apart from anything seen in years. Within hours, word spread, and soon scientists, journalists, and curious onlookers gathered at the field's edge. But what no one realized at that moment was that this Bavarian circle would soon change the entire conversation around crop formations. Because for the very first time, one of the most advanced quantum-powered AI systems on Earth was about to analyze such a design. And what it found would shake our understanding of these mysteries to the core. Quantum AI steps in. For decades, crop circles have divided opinion. Some call them artful hoaxes, others believe they hold deeper meaning. But never before had a machine as powerful as a quantum AI been tasked with decoding one. When the Bavarian formation was discovered, researchers knew traditional methods wouldn't be enough. So, they turned to Earth's most advanced artificial intelligence, a system built to analyze patterns at a level beyond human capability. Unlike ordinary computers, this AI could process countless variables at once, testing thousands of possibilities in seconds. Its tasks study every angle, every curve, every detail of the strange design. What the AI revealed stunned even seasoned experts. It didn't just see pretty shapes in a field, it uncovered hidden layers no one had noticed before. Beneath the visible artwork, it detected faint construction lines. Geometric guides invisible to the naked eye, but present within the layout. These lines hinted at a master blueprint, something created with precision tools far beyond planks and ropes. Even more astonishing, the AI measured the plants themselves and found a shocking level of uniformity. Across the entire formation, stalks were bent at exactly 51 degrees from upright. Not roughly, not close, but precise. Thousands of plants arranged with machine-like consistency. Human hands could not have achieved this in the dark of a single night. The Bavarian circle was no simple trick. The AI had just opened the door to a far deeper mystery. Hidden lines found. When researchers reviewed the AI's first findings, one detail stood out above all others: the hidden construction lines. To the human eye, the Bavarian circle looked like a flawless piece of art stamped into wheat overnight. But the quantum AI's precision analysis revealed something deeper. Faint geometric guides woven into the design, invisible without advanced computation. These lines weren't visible paths or marks in the soil, they were mathematical frameworks buried inside the pattern itself. Imagine a blueprint drawn in the language of geometry, then hidden within the circle structure. The AI showed that every star point, every curve of the braided loops, followed these underlying guides with remarkable accuracy. This discovery left researchers speechless. Crop circle skeptics have long argued that people with boards and ropes could create impressive shapes. But hidden construction lines of such precision suggest something else entirely. An intelligence working from a highly sophisticated plan. The AI calculated that the star-like center aligned perfectly to fractions of a degree, a feat far beyond casual human effort. It was as if the design had been drafted with advanced tools, then imprinted flawlessly into the field. To scientists, this wasn't just decoration. It was evidence of method, intention, and design hidden beneath the visible. Whoever, or whatever, created the Bavarian formation wasn't improvising in the dark. They were following a precise, almost architectural blueprint. Perfect 51-degree stalks, the quantum AI's next revelation, focused not on the pattern, but on the plants themselves. Across the entire 1,000-square-meter formation, every stalk of wheat was bent at precisely 51 degrees from upright. Not 49, not 53, exactly 51, with almost no variation. To anyone who has studied crop circles, this detail was jaw-dropping. When crops are trampled by people, the stalks usually break or fall at random angles. Human methods leave behind mess, damage, and inconsistency. But here, thousands of plants were uniformly bent, yet still alive and unbroken, as if carefully guided into position by some unseen force. Scientists ran comparisons with known hoaxes and found nothing close to this level of accuracy. Biophysicists explained that bending plants in such a way without snapping them requires a burst of energy that softens the stalk, almost like heating them from within. The AI highlighted hot pots inside the circle where plant nodes were stretched and, in some cases, slightly ruptured, an effect that looks like microwave heating. Achieving this over such a vast area in just one night would demand technology far beyond ordinary human reach. The perfect 51-degree angle wasn't just a number, it was a signature, a deliberate choice. To some researchers, this was the clearest sign yet that the Bavarian circle was no prank, but a creation driven by advanced knowledge, precision, and purpose. Links to 2005 circles as the AI cross checked the Bavarian formation against its vast database of past crop circles. It uncovered something that stunned even the most experienced researchers. The 2025 design wasn't unique. Hidden within its star-shaped core and braided loops were elements that matched not one, but two separate crop circles that had appeared in England during the summer of 2005. At first glance, those older formations had seemed unrelated, separated by time and location. But when the AI digitally overlaid the Bavarian circle with the English ones, the connection became clear. The German formation was almost a perfect fusion of the two earlier designs. An intentional merging of patterns created exactly 20 years apart. This discovery forced experts to rethink everything. Could a group of humans really plan and execute designs decades in advance, across different countries, with such mathematical precision? Or was it evidence of a larger intelligence weaving a message over time? The statistical odds of the 2025 circle randomly echoing both 2005 formations were astronomically low. To the AI, it looked deliberate. The idea that crop circles might be linked across decades suggested an unfolding narrative, a conversation in fields of wheat stretching through generations. Whether the creators were human or something beyond, the Bavarian circle wasn't standing alone. It was part of a bigger story still being written. The Greek key border surrounding the Bavarian formation was a border unlike anything seen in recent years. At first glance, it appeared decorative, a continuous looping pattern tracing the edges of the design. But researchers quickly recognized it a Greek key meander, a motif used in ancient temples and mosaics for thousands of years. This wasn't a simple frame, it carried cultural and symbolic weight. The Greek key has long been associated with infinity cycles and unbroken connection. For it to appear encircling the star-like center was striking enough, but when the AI examined it more closely, something extraordinary emerged. The border wasn't uniform. Small variations in segment lengths and spacing were scattered throughout the pattern, almost too subtle for the human eye to notice. To most observers, these seemed like imperfections, perhaps accidents in the design. But the AI recognized structure where humans saw noise. It logged each variation and converted them into sequences of long and short intervals, like coded signals hidden inside the border itself. The result was far from random. The Greek key wasn't just decoration, it was data. To researchers, this suggested a deliberate attempt to encode information into a symbol humans already understood, one tied to ancient culture. The Bavarian formation was no longer just geometry on the ground. It was carrying a message, written in a language of mathematics and symbols that spanned civilizations. AI finds hidden data. The real breakthrough came when the quantum AI went beyond human observation and treated the Bavarian circle not as art, but as data. Every curve, angle, and variation was scanned as if it were part of a coded system. What emerged was staggering, hidden layers of information embedded directly in the geometry. The star-shaped core aligned with precise mathematical constants, while the braided loops revealed ratios consistent with orbital paths. Even the spacing of the border segments, once thought decorative, translated into structured sequences. To human eyes, it was a beautiful pattern in wheat, but to the AI, it looked more like an encrypted file waiting to be unlocked. This finding shocked the research team. For decades, crop circles had been debated as pranks or curiosities, yet here was clear evidence of intentional encoding that could not be explained away as random. The AI hadn't been told what to look for. It found the patterns independently, cross-verifying them against thousands of models. Experts said it was like watching a locked door swing open after years of knocking. Suddenly, the possibility that these formations were part of a long, running communication felt tangible. The Bavarian design wasn't just a picture. It was a message buried in plain sight, waiting for technology advanced enough to read it. Heat in the stalks, just when researchers thought the Bavarian circle couldn't be more unusual, the AI detected physical anomalies in the plants themselves. High-resolution scans showed that many of the wheat stalks had elongated nodes, those joint-like sections of the plant where growth is concentrated. In some cases, the nodes were stretched or even blown open, as though they had been heated from the inside. This wasn't the kind of damage caused by people pressing crops with boards. Instead, it resembled effects seen in laboratory experiments where plants are briefly exposed to bursts of microwave energy. The moisture inside the stalks expands rapidly, softening and bending them without breaking. The remarkable part was how consistent this effect was across such a massive area. Thousands of stalks, covering more than an acre, all displayed the same signs of internal heating, and all bent cleanly to 51. Scientists admitted that to reproduce this effect artificially would require highly advanced equipment capable of evenly distributing energy over enormous fields in a single night. No group of pranksters could realistically achieve such results. To the AI, the pattern was clear. The bending of the stalks wasn't random pressure from outside. It was a controlled process, applied with precision, leaving behind physical evidence of heat that even the naked eye couldn't see. Strange electromagnetic readings. As the investigation continued, the team brought in specialized instruments to measure electromagnetic fields around the crop circle. What they found was startling. Sensors recorded fluctuating energy spikes far beyond normal background levels, concentrated precisely over the nodes and curved patterns of the formation. These bursts pulsed intermittently, almost like a heartbeat, but no electrical source on the surface could explain them. Dr. Keller noted, "The readings are too structured to be random. It's as if the field itself was shaping the crop." Technicians struggled to map the signals. The electromagnetic waves seemed to twist and spiral, aligning perfectly with the intricate curves of the circle. Attempts to reproduce the patterns using conventional devices failed. Even high-powered magnets and transmitters couldn't mimic the subtle precision. Some instruments temporarily malfunctioned, as if overwhelmed by the intensity. Farmers and onlookers whispered about strange sensations: hair standing on end, tingling skin, even brief dizziness near the formations. The AI analyzed historical data from previous crop circles worldwide. a pattern emerge. All major formations with high complexity coincided with unusual electromagnetic anomalies. Yet the intensity here surpassed any recorded instance. Dr. Keller's voice trembled slightly as she remarked, "Whatever created this field not only shaped the crop, it manipulated energy in ways we cannot yet understand. It's deliberate, intelligent, and highly advanced." The readings hinted at forces beyond conventional physics, deepening the mystery and fueling both fear and awe among the team. Witness accounts of strange lights. Local residents and passing travelers began reporting unusual lights in the night sky above Göbekli Tepe. Some described them as shimmering orbs, glowing in colors that shifted from blue to green to amber. Others spoke of beams that seemed to scan the fields before vanishing without a trace. Many claimed the lights moved with a purposeful rhythm, hovering briefly over specific areas before darting away at impossible speeds. Dr. Keller's team collected statements, documenting each sighting carefully, noting the time, direction, and duration. One farmer Mimit insisted he saw a massive shape floating above the mound, surrounded by smaller lights that pulsed like lanterns in a dark wind. He swore the formation below shimmered in response, as if the crop circle itself was alive. Another witness described a series of zigzagging streaks, leaving trails that faded in midair, unlike any meteor or satellite. Skeptics suggested atmospheric phenomena, drones, or hallucinations, but the consistency across dozens of accounts made simple explanations difficult. The scientists correlated the sightings with the electromagnetic spikes measured earlier. Times when witnesses reported intense lights coincided precisely with the strongest energy readings. This overlap suggested a connection. The lights were not mere visual anomalies but part of the same force shaping the ground below. Anxiety and excitement spread through the small town. People began camping near the site, hoping to glimpse the phenomenon firsthand. The growing crowd, however, also complicated the investigation, introducing variables and potential interference. Dr. Keller noted, "We're witnessing something that defies ordinary explanation. Every account, every reading points to a directed intelligence at work. The lights, the energy, the crop, they're all linked, and that link may hold the key to understanding who, or what, is behind it." Unexplained soil disturbances. The morning after the latest sightings, Dr. Keller's team discovered subtle but undeniable disturbances in the soil around Göbekli Tepe. The ground appeared unnaturally churned, with circular depressions and raised ridges forming intricate, almost geometric patterns. At first, the team suspected natural causes, animal activity, erosion, or rain. But closer inspection revealed something more deliberate. Soil samples were compressed in a way that no ordinary force could achieve, with layers showing signs of intense pressure applied from above. Satellite images confirmed that the patterns extended beyond the mound itself, spreading across the surrounding fields in a network of precise lines. These formations seemed to align with the previously reported lights and electromagnetic readings. Tools brought in for excavation broke under the weight of the strangely dense soil, as if the earth had hardened overnight. Even the tiniest particles exhibited an unusual crystalline structure, sparkling faintly under the sun, unlike anything seen in regional geology. Local workers who had cleared fields nearby reported hearing low, vibrating hums during the night, coinciding with the timing of the disturbances. One laborer swore he saw the soil rise and shift as if invisible hands were sculpting it while the air above shimmered with faint energy. Dr. Keller began theorizing that whatever was responsible was not just observing, but actively interacting with the terrain. The team erected protective barriers, fearing both damage to the site and potential danger from whatever force was at work. This is no longer just archaeological. Keller admitted, something, or someone, is manipulating the Earth itself, and we are only beginning to understand its scope. The electromagnetic surge late one evening, As the team monitored the site, the instrument suddenly went wild. Readings spiked far beyond normal levels. Magnetic fields twisted and surged, electrical currents danced unpredictably, and electronic devices flickered or shut down entirely. Dr. Keller watched in disbelief as compasses spun like toy tops, and drones hovering above were knocked offline mid-flight. The surge seemed to emanate from the very center of Göbekli Tepe, radiating outward in pulsating waves that made the air feel heavy and charged. Workers reported a low, resonant hum vibrating through their bones, like standing near an enormous tuning fork. Animals in the area became restless, running in circles, barking, or hiding under the nearest shelter. Even the soil itself appeared to ripple subtly, as if alive. Keller realized that this was no ordinary electromagnetic phenomenon. The readings were intelligent, fluctuating in rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. The team scrambled to shield sensitive equipment, but their efforts were only partially successful. Laptops and cameras failed, and communications with nearby towns briefly cut out. Keller's mind raced. This surge could explain the mysterious lights and soil disturbances observed earlier. Whatever was causing it seemed to defy known physics, generating immense energy without a visible source. Fear and excitement mixed in the team. "We're witnessing something alive," whispered Keller, "something ancient, powerful, and entirely beyond our understanding." The hum intensified, and the night sky above the mound shimmered with faint, otherworldly auroras. The electromagnetic surge wasn't just a signal, it was a warning. The hidden chamber revealed, as the electromagnetic surge subsided, a faint vibration continued beneath the mound, guiding Dr. Keller and his team toward a section of Göbekli Tepe previously overlooked. The ground, oddly warm and slightly hollow, suggested a cavity below. Using careful excavation tools, they removed stones layer by layer, revealing an entrance hidden for millennia. Dust swirled in the dim beam of their flashlights, and a cold draft escaped the newly uncovered passage. Inside, the chamber stretched far beyond their expectations. Walls carved with strange symbols glowed faintly in the residual electromagnetic field, casting eerie shadows. The air was thick, carrying an ancient scent of earth and metal, and every step echoed with a hollow resonance, as if the mound itself were alive. Keller ran his hand over the carvings, feeling grooves that were impossibly precise, far beyond the work of ordinary tools. Strangely, the symbols formed patterns that seemed to shift under their gaze. Keller realized they were not mere decorations, they were a language, or perhaps a map. In the center of the chamber sat an object, metallic and humming softly, covered in layers of dust but radiating energy. Its surface was etched with symbols matching the walls, pulsating gently in rhythm with the faint hum that filled the room. The team stepped back, awe and fear gripping them. This hidden chamber was more than a burial site. It was a repository of knowledge or technology, preserved for thousands of years. Keller's heart pounded. Whatever this was, it had remained secret for nearly 7 millennia, waiting for the right moment, or the right people, to find it. The pulse that awakens as Dr. Keller studied the humming object. The chamber seemed to respond. A low-frequency pulse, almost imperceptible at first, began to radiate from the artifact. The air vibrated, making the hair on their arms stand on end. Dust swirled around them in patterns that mirrored the symbols on the walls, as if the room itself was awakening. Keller exchanged a tense glance with his team. None of them had ever encountered anything like this. The pulse grew stronger, sensing with the rhythmic thrum in their chests. Some of the symbols on the walls began to glow more brightly, illuminating hidden carvings that had been invisible in the dim light. Keller could feel a strange energy coursing through the floor, like the mound was alive and communicating through vibrations. Each beat seemed deliberate, as though the artifact had been waiting for them to arrive. Suddenly, the metallic object shifted slightly, responding to the pulse it emitted. A faint hum became a resonant tone, vibrating through the chamber walls. Instruments Keller had brought for analysis started to fluctuate uncontrollably, their readings spiking beyond comprehension. It was not just energy. It was a signal, a message encoded in the very fabric of the chamber. Fear and awe battled inside the team. This was not merely an archaeological find, it was a living connection to something ancient and powerful, a force that had remained dormant for thousands of years but was now awakening. Keller's hands trembled as he reached closer, feeling the irresistible pull of knowledge that had waited in silence beneath Göbekli Tepe. The symbols speak. The glowing symbols on the walls pulsed in time with the artifact's resonant hum. At first, they appeared random, ancient etchings lost to time. But as Keller stared, the patterns shifted, forming shapes that almost seemed like a language. The team watched, mesmerized and fearful, as lines connected and recombined, telling a story older than civilization itself. A low murmur escaped the chamber, though no one spoke. It was as if the mound itself had a voice, vibrating through the stone and the floor beneath them. Keller could feel the meaning pressing against his mind, fragments of comprehension slipping in, like pieces of a puzzle. These were not mere carvings. They were instructions, warnings, and knowledge, waiting for someone to decipher them. The symbols began to glow brighter, casting stark shadows across the chamber. Each glow corresponded to a particular vibration in the pulse, like the mound was trying to synchronize with them. Every member of the team felt a strange sensation, memories that weren't theirs flickering in their minds. Visions of builders, engineers, and guardians who had long since vanished. Heimel stepped closer to the wall, tracing a glowing line with his finger. The moment he touched it, the symbols shifted instantly, forming a coherent sequence, like the mound acknowledged his presence. Keller realized they weren't just reading history, they were being chosen, invited to understand, and perhaps even to awaken what had lain hidden for thousands of years beneath Göbekli Tepe. The hidden mechanism deep beneath the mound, a faint metallic click echoed through the stone chamber. Keller froze, his heartbeat echoing in his ears. Something had moved, something not alive, yet not entirely inanimate. The team gathered closer, their flashlights trembling in the dust-filled air, revealing a series of panels and gears concealed within the wall. Miss Ricky ran her hand along a smooth groove, feeling the cold metal hum beneath her fingertips. "It's a mechanism," she whispered, awe and fear mixing in her voice. "And it's still functional after all this time." The mound seemed almost alive, reacting to their presence, as if the very earth itself had been waiting for this moment. A subtle vibration ran through the floor,